Halloween was already a while ago. I hope you had a nice one. The tune you heard now I played only using the factory sounds of the K2700, and I used the internal sequencer to record the multitrack. In my last video I showed you some problems when importing some patches from the Kurzweil K2500 to the K2700. And today I'm going to show you some details what the problems are and possibly how to fix them. I will start with my own patch. It's a simple one, didgeridoo. It sounds like this. So samples are played back very nicely, but there are some special features I have in this patch. I have some controllers assigned. So first of all, on the K2500 I have controller P. Fifth controller is the filter frequency, and the fifth slider is the resonance. So I've noticed that the sliders don't work in the 2700, except slider 1 is the filter frequency and 2 is the resonance. So those have been changed around, and these are actually some default. So usually the first one is the filter and second is resonance in many other patches, factory patches. Another thing, I have slider number 4 assigned to LFO modulating the filter, and slider 3 is the LFO speed. And those sliders are not working in the 2700. And this sample you can hear in one of my old tunes. You can find it on the Bandcamp. It's a tune I made for videos. Most of my tunes are made for film and videos. I put the link here so you can check in the Bandcamp the whole music. Then what is the problem? Let's see. In the 2500, let's check the settings. You can see here that MIDI controller 25 is the depth of the LFO modulating the low pass frequency, and MIDI 24 is the low pass frequency baseline. And here on the resonance page you can see that MIDI controller 26 controls the resonance. Okay, then let's go check the settings in the K2700. You go to Edit, DSP Modulations, you select the 2-pole low pass block and low pass frequency, and here source 1 is slider 1. This was MIDI 24, I remember, in the K2500. So when you import the patch to 2700, this was changed to slider 1 from the other slider. The depth control for the LFO, for the filter frequency, is MIDI 24. That's the same as in the K2500. For some reason it didn't work. When I move the slider, nothing happens. So let's reprogram this one, and there's a shortcut like in the old one. You press the enter and move the slider you want it to assign to. Let's take slider 4, move it, then it says slider 4. Now it should work. Yep. So that's fixed now. So for some reason You can, if you import, you have to start editing your patches and correct these things. They have changed the controller assignments for the sliders. Now let's check one of the patches from the factory sounds of the K2500. I will load it from the thumb drive, file, load, an object for the K25 file. I will open it to load only one program. Let's take for example this Dino electric piano. Fill and load dependent objects, yes, because I want the sample and whatever is associated with that patch. So here's the patch, and it sounds like this. And that's completely different from the original. Let's find out why. So here you can see the sample used for this one is EP Time. The original was Soft Roads. Something has changed there. Let's go to global objects. This shows the objects that was loaded from the original patch. And you can see there's no sample here. So no samples are loaded when you import the factory patch file you find from the internet for the K2500. No samples are loaded, and that's probably because there are no samples in those files. The samples the 2500 uses for the factory sounds are actually in the ROM in the machine itself. They are not coming with that file. So that's why you cannot import exactly the same sounds if they are sample based from the factory sound from the K2500. So sample based sound won't work unless you sample those sounds with those samples, and then with ladder work you can get them working, but it's no easy way. Okay, the next thing, let's check a non-sample based patch that has no samples and import that. So let's go to global, file, load, then select the K2500 factory and open. And let's try this, one of my favorite K2500 patches is 25, which is simpleton, and then fill and continue, and load dependent objects. Yeah, there probably are not dependent objects, but yes. And then we have it here. And as I showed you in a previous video, it sounds awful. The original sounds like this. Aftertouch, and I like that sound. So why doesn't it work here? Let's take a closer look. Go to Edit, Algorithm. There's only one layer in this sound, so it's very simple and no samples. And here you can see the algorithm. It has two saw waves, so it's making a fat saw wave thing, and then none. And you can see here in the original K2500 there's this LP gate after the saw waves, and that has disappeared when I import the patch to the 2700. And well, I can of course go and put it back, but I found out there is no such thing anymore. So they have removed LP gate from the 2700. That's a sad thing. It was a nice filter in this sound. The LP gate, I believe, is a low pass filter that is controlled. The frequency of the filter is controlled by the amplitude envelope. So let's do one thing at a time. First, let's get those saw waves correct. I have removed now the low pass filter from the 2500, like this, and that sounds like this. And you can hear even the saw waves are not correct, even if they exist in the 2700. So let's fix the saw waves so they sound the same in both 2500 and 2700. Let's go to DSP control. There are two saw waves. One is the -12 octaves low, and you can see it's not detuned like in the 2500. There's some detuning. Let's put the same here, like 0.7. So for some reason they did not transfer in the import this detuning. And then the other saw wave is +7 semitones, and that should be -0.1 like in the 2500. For some reason they did not transfer the detuning. That's a bad thing. Another thing I noticed, the pads are different. In the 2500 the pad for this saw wave was 0, so let's put 0 here. Alright. Now the waveform sounds similar, but the 2500 I think has a sharper attack. So let's check the amplitude envelope. It's like this in the 2700 and like this in the 2500. The numbers are the same, but it sounds different, so they have changed again something. I think I will reduce attack to minimum, or let's say 0.005. Okay, that's more like it. So then let's select the low pass for the 2700, and there's the 2-pole low pass. That sounds like the correct one to use. And then adjust the parameters to that one through the DSP control. There's the low pass frequency and resonance, and still it doesn't sound correct. I think we need less resonance. Modify envelope generator 2. I think it has a slower attack, maybe. You notice that the attack time, huge difference between 0 attack and the smallest non-zero. Okay, finally. So it took a while for me to get it even close, because there are differences. Well, but I think you spend a lot of time, you can do whatever things, but it's not easy. So if you're happy using the factory sounds or download some ready sounds, then it's a great machine, no problem. But the compatibility to the old Kurzweil is challenging, I would say, and it takes time before I can get my all favorite sounds transferred to the 2700. And because I have limited space, so I want to, you know, retire this one, or I will take it to my cottage or somewhere. I will probably not sell it, but anyway, I don't have room for it to have it like in active use, because I want my D50 and DX7 also here, because I love those machines, and I will probably in the future, when I'm done with this Kurzweil thing, because it's a new thing now, so I'm making these videos about the Kurzweil now, but I have some analog stuff and other things I can show later on if I make more videos. But okay, this is all for this time, and thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and there's a lot of comments also, so keep those coming, and see you next time. Bye.